Hey guys, today we're looking at Scarlet Blade. It's a fantasy MMO published by Aeria Games and it was developed by liveplex. You have two factions to pick from, the Royal Guards and the Free Knights. I'm going to let the game go over the basic character classes for you since it's on audio.
Shadow Walker. This stealthy killer prowls the shadows and strikes with more devastating melee attacks than any of her sisters.
Whipper, a powerful melee fighter with excellent range. This Arcana specializes in brutal AoE skills that chew through packs of foes.
Punisher, a ranged destroyer. She specializes in blasting away multiple enemies at once from a safe and elegant distance. Medic, the only Arcana with a healer's touch. This battle angel shoulders the responsibility for the lives of her entire party.
Sentinel. Quick as lightning and deceptively non-threatening by design. Most enemies won't know what hit them until it's too late.
Defender. She shatters through enemy lines with whirlwind melee skills. A true survivor intent on protecting her allies.
Here we're looking at the character creator, and it's not really vast with customizable features, but it does have about 10 presets, builds to pick from, like 10 faces, 10 eyes, so it's not really too bad. The graphics in the game are pretty good. You can turn them up and it does look good. So, it could be worse. This game is definitely aimed at a more mature audience. The game recommends, well, the developers do 17 plus to play it, so keep that in mind. It's got a lot of partial nudity, and a lot of the NPC conversations are adult themed, so just a heads up on that, guys. The costumes that they give you to pick from are basically not what you have at the start, but what you will get, and they're not really, all of that. They're just showing you what's ahead. The lingerie feature here, which I think is what the developers were going for to sell the game. The partial nudity, you do have control over that, and that is a big deal in the game. Here we're looking at the character sheet. It's pretty standard, like your typical MMO. You got your items, and different stats that support different classes. What is a good feature is the gear. You got basically 3 gear buttons to pick from. Gear 1 is what you currently have on. Gear 2 is like the lingerie, and then a customizable feature to throw different stuff together. So it's a pretty good feature. It does have a ranking information for your PvP information, like today, this week, last week, and total, which is a pretty nice feature also. The pet system is pretty generic. You have to have a data chip to get the pet to actually do anything, like pick up the items that mobs drop. It does give you some buffs a little bit for combat, but you have to feed it also, but it's pretty generic. Seems like it was kind of rushed and just thrown in. The inventory, it's really not too big at all, but they didn't give you a bunch of junk like other MMOs where you feel like you have to automatically go to the item mall and unlock it. So it's okay, but it is pretty small. Also, the warehouse is really small also in town. Here's the skill tree, and it's basically just a straight shot. There's nothing really too big about it. You have your abilities that you can unlock, like you get special area effect abilities. This is a medic class, so she has a lot of buffs to use, and they really help. I wanted to check out the healing class, and it was pretty fun. Healing, especially healing in a group, but it's pretty straightforward. Just throw points in. Here we're looking at the mech. Each class gets their own battle mech, and you unlock this later on mid-game, like, well, in the teens. And then when you're in mech form, you get special abilities. And so each class is going to have different special abilities. Like this mech, she has some healing abilities, and it definitely gives you more damage output, and you can receive more damage. So this is really good because you can use these in player versus player, which does help quite a bit. And I think this is one of the cool features about the game. Up at the left hand top window, you see the SP bar. It's the light blue bar, like teal. That is running low. When that goes back down to 0, you turn back into normal mode, which it does seem like it goes pretty fast, but it regenerates also pretty fast as you're not using the mech. But you definitely want to save it and use it on bosses, or when you're in really dire situations. The quest window, like the quest system, it's okay. It's pretty typical, like any of your Korean MMOs. It's got a quest tracker on the side, and you auto follow to each individual mob that you got to kill. So it's a no-brainer. You're never gonna get lost. I don't like this feature because it means the game is just linear. There's no deferring from what they want you to do. The map system is good. You can click anywhere on the map. It'll auto walk to where you have selected, which is a nice feature. But like I said, it's just linear. You gotta watch out for aggroing mobs too. In the earlier part of the game, you don't have to worry about it, but later on, they will aggro, and you could pull. So the game does have guilds, but I didn't get too far in the features of the guilds. It's got a friend list, social outlet for. It also has like looking for group feature, like team recruiting, which is a nice feature. It also has this card game. Randomly, mobs will drop like different cards, and you have to have 4 of the same card, and it'll give you a random item. So that's something extra also. Here is a feature too in the game. So you hit level 10 or 15, it just keeps going up. You'll be able to unlock these pictures, like little puzzle games, to see what the picture is. And of course, they're going to be, art, anime art, naughty anime art. So I won't go into too much of that, but you can see where it's going. So. PvP, after, I think it's around level 15, I'm not sure exactly, but you get invited to do these PvP queues. So it does have PvP pretty early on. The first one is Janus. It is level 15 to 39, but it's every other hour, and you can queue for these, and this is going to help you level up doing these PvP. At the end of the video, I show you Janus. And there is a free mount in the game. As you can see here, you get a one-wheeled motorcycle. There are other mounts in the game. You can get some of them through the item mall. As you can see here, the bike was designed for definitely modeling female. Um, the females. So this is aimed toward a mature male audience. But it's kind of cool. You get a free mount. But the maps aren't that big, really. Here we're in town, and basically, I mean, after so long, you level up a little bit, you get a portal to town, just like typical MMOs. Um, and here in town, they got the, like, crafting, I guess you would say. You get to enchant items, but enchanting is done basically, so you add a +1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the items, or you can also change the items, like the stats on an item. So if you want to be more defense, stats or whatever, like a tank. You can upgrade items that way. The game does have portals here in town, so you can teleport across the map. It's got an auction house, which is a nice feature.
Stardust items can vastly enhance your performance, by the way.
And this
Nab
is,
some in the item
part of the
wall.
upgrade system, enchantment. I didn't really go too much into that. I only made it to about level 20.
What a messy inventory.
But it's pretty standard. The warehouse here, your bank, is pretty small. They definitely want you to unlock more spaces with their item wall. So it is really not that big at all. One thing I want to show you here, they got a vending machine here. And in it, they got a megaphone. And you have to have this megaphone if you want to shout out loud. So if you're like looking for a group, you're wanting to buy something or anything like that, you definitely want to buy these. 30 silver isn't much because I started at 17, I got 11 gold. So, and respecs cost, item wall purchases too. So people are definitely looking for those in the chat window. Around 60 gold. The graphics are really good. I'm not gonna say they're not. Even the special effects. I mean, like on your abilities is very well done on two of the characters. I know it was kind of hard later, not hard, but just more a pain to level up and kill the mobs with the medic. So I made this whipper class, and being a DPS character, you're gonna go a lot farther and a lot faster, ranking up and just getting through the game easier. Because DPS, I mean, if you can kill a lot of mobs at one time, that's the only way to go in this game. I mean, you can still have fun as a medic, it just takes a little longer unless you're grouped. Here's Janus. This is the first PvP arena that I queued for. And it's pretty fun. There's an objective with the towers. And you get items and experience by doing these. So it's definitely every other hour or whenever you can do it, go ahead and just do this, and it's going to help you level up. Now, my closing comments on the game itself, even though this game is aimed at an adult male audience, and it's almost like an anime porn style the way they got their character models set up, that doesn't help stop the game from being a total grind fest. I mean, the quest system is set up to kill 5 and 5 of this and 5 of that mob. Well, that's okay, but the higher you go up, the more mobs. It turns into 10 and then 20 mobs. And I know all MMOs are like that, but it's just a little tedious. I mean, I don't even really want to keep playing. I mean, the game has some good features. I mean, a lot of guys are gonna like the eye candy aspect of it, and that might help them, not care about the grinding. The game does have PvP, and you are able to turn into these battle mechs, which is pretty cool. But the whole quest system, even though the story in the game is pretty cool, I'm not gonna say that part isn't. I mean, if you read it, it is pretty cool, but everything they send you to do is a total grind fest. Everything can be fixed by killing 20 of these things and then they come back. It's just too typical of Korean MMOs. So, graphics is great, the sound's good, the PvP was fun, but the leveling grind is just tedious, and I heard it's really bad from the 20s on up. And level 29 is the cap now until they get the rest translated to bring when they get the rest of the game from the original developers. Well, guys, that's my review on Scarlet Blade. Remember to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.